Have you ever found yourself in a place where you needed favor so desperately that it felt like the weight of the world was pressing down on your shoulders? Or perhaps you've been in a season where mercy seemed like the only thing standing between you and total collapse. If so, you're not alone. Throughout history, people have turned to the Psalms in moments of desperation, joy, confusion, and hope. These ancient prayers and songs, written thousands of years ago, still resonate deeply today because they speak to the universal human experience, our need for God's favor and mercy. Favor and mercy are two of the most profound expressions of God's love. Favor is that divine advantage, that unmerited kindness that opens doors no man can shut. Mercy, on the other hand, is God's compassion when we deserve punishment but receive pardon instead. Together, they form the bedrock of our relationship with God, reminding us that we are loved, seen, and cared for, even in our weakest moments. In this video, we'll explore 3 psalms that stand out as powerful prayers for favor and mercy. Each of these psalms offers a unique perspective on how to approach God in times of need, and each reveals something profound about his character. Whether you're seeking forgiveness, protection, or a fresh outpouring of God's grace, these psalms will guide you into a deeper understanding of how to receive and walk in divine favor and mercy. Let's embark on this journey together, uncovering the timeless wisdom and power of these sacred texts. Before we proceed, I invite you to watch a short presentation that reveals how to unlock God's miracles and step into your divine calling. You'll find a link to the life-changing presentation in the description below. Be sure to watch it after this one. That's my special gift to you for coming across this video. Moving on. Number 1. Psalm 51, the cry for mercy after failure. Psalm 51 is perhaps one of the most raw and vulnerable prayers in the entire Bible. It was written by King David after one of the darkest moments of his life, his affair with Bathsheba and the subsequent murder of her husband, Uriah. This psalm is a heartfelt plea for mercy, a desperate cry for God to cleanse and restore a broken soul. David's story is a stark reminder that no one is immune to failure. Here was a man described as a man after God's own heart, yet he fell into sin so grievous that it had far-reaching consequences. When the prophet Nathan confronted him, David didn't make excuses or shift blame. Instead, he turned to God in repentance, and Psalm 51 is the beautiful, painful result. What makes Psalm 51 so powerful is its honesty. David doesn't sugarcoat his sin or try to bargain with God. He opens with a plea for mercy. "Have mercy on me, O God, according to your unfailing love, according to your great compassion, blot out my transgressions." Psalm 51 verse 1. He acknowledges his sin and takes full responsibility. "For I know my transgressions, and my sin is always before me." Psalm 51 verse 3. But David doesn't stop at confession. He asks for something deeper, a clean heart and a renewed spirit. "Create in me a pure heart, O God, and renew a steadfast spirit within me." Psalm 51 verse 10. This is where Psalm 51 becomes a powerful prayer for favor and mercy. David isn't just asking for forgiveness, he's asking for transformation. He's asking God to do what only God can do, to take a broken, sinful heart and make it new. The beauty of Psalm 51 lies in its hope. David knows that God's mercy is greater than his sin. He declares, "Restore to me the joy of your salvation and grant me a willing spirit to sustain me." Psalm 51 verse 12. This is the ultimate favor, a restored relationship with God, a heart filled with joy, and a spirit empowered to live rightly. If you've ever felt the weight of failure or the sting of regret, Psalm 51 is your prayer. It reminds us that no matter how far we've fallen, God's mercy is always within reach. And when we come to him with a repentant heart, he doesn't just forgive us, he restores us. Number 2, Psalm 57, the prayer for favor in the midst of trouble. If Psalm 51 is about mercy after failure, Psalm 57 is about favor in the midst of trouble. Written by David during one of the most perilous seasons of his life, when he was hiding from King Saul in a cave, this psalm is a testament to the power of trusting God in the darkest of times. Imagine being hunted by someone who wants to kill you. That was David's reality. Saul, consumed by jealousy, was determined to eliminate David, the man God had anointed to be the next king. David found himself in a literal and metaphorical cave, a place of fear, uncertainty, and danger. Yet in that cave, David didn't despair, he prayed. Psalm 57 begins with a cry for mercy. "Have mercy on me, my God, have mercy on me, for in you I take refuge." I will take refuge in the shadow of your wings until the disaster has passed. Psalm 57, verse 1. But what's remarkable about this psalm is how quickly David moves from pleading to praising. Even in the cave, he declares, I will sing and make music. Awake my soul. Awake harp and lyre. I will awaken the dawn. Psalm 57, verse 7 to 8. David's prayer is a powerful reminder that favor isn't just about God changing our circumstances. It's about God changing us in the midst of our circumstances. David didn't know how or when God would deliver him, but he trusted that God would. And that trust transformed his fear into faith. The refrain of Psalm 57 is a declaration of God's steadfast love and faithfulness. For great is your love, reaching to the heavens, your faithfulness reaches to the skies. Psalm 57, verse 10. This is the foundation of David's confidence. He knows that no matter how dire his situation, God's favor and mercy are greater. If you're in a season of trouble, Psalm 57 is your prayer. It reminds us that even in the cave, God is with us. His favor surrounds us like a shield, and His mercy sustains us. And when we trust Him, He turns our caves into sanctuaries of praise. Number 3, Psalm 86, the prayer for favor and mercy in every season. Psalm 86 is often called David's prayer journal because it's a collection of heartfelt pleas, praises, and declarations of trust. It's a psalm for every season, whether you're in need of mercy, favor, guidance, or strength. Unlike Psalm 51 and Psalm 57, Psalm 86 doesn't have a specific historical context. Instead, it reflects David's lifelong dependence on God. It's a prayer that could have been written in any season of his life, which makes it incredibly relatable for us. Psalm 86 is a beautiful blend of humility and confidence. David begins by acknowledging his need. Hear me, Lord, and answer me, for I am poor and needy. Psalm 86, verse 1. He asks for mercy, protection, and guidance. Guard my life, for I am faithful to you. Save your servant who trusts in you. Psalm 86, verse 2. But what stands out most in this psalm is David's confidence in God's character. He declares, You are forgiving and good, O Lord, abounding in love to all who call to you. Psalm 86, verse 5. He reminds himself and us that God is not only able but also willing to show favor and mercy. The climax of Psalm 86 is David's declaration of God's uniqueness. Among the gods there is none like you, Lord. No deeds can compare with yours. Psalm 86, verse 8. This is the foundation of our confidence when we pray for favor and mercy. We're not praying to a distant or indifferent God. We're praying to the one who is sovereign, loving, and faithful. If you're looking for a prayer that covers every aspect of life, Psalm 86 is it. It's a reminder that no matter what we're facing, God's favor and mercy are available to us. All we have to do is ask. As we come to the end of this journey through Psalm 51, Psalm 57, and Psalm 86, it's impossible not to be struck by the sheer depth of God's love and the accessibility of His favor and mercy. These psalms aren't just ancient prayers. They're lifelines for anyone who has ever felt the weight of failure, the sting of trouble, or the ache of uncertainty. They remind us that no matter where we are in life, God's favor and mercy are not just available, they're actively pursuing us. Let's take a moment to reflect on what we've learned. Psalm 51 shows us that God's mercy is greater than our deepest failures. David's raw, unfiltered cry for forgiveness reminds us that no sin is too great, no regret too heavy for God to handle. When we come to Him with a repentant heart, He doesn't just wipe the slate clean. He transforms us from the inside out. He takes our brokenness and makes us whole again. That's the power of mercy. It doesn't just pardon, it restores. Then there's Psalm 57, a testament to God's favor in the midst of life's storms. David's prayer from the cave teaches us that favor isn't just about God changing our circumstances, it's about Him changing us in the midst of them. When we trust Him, even in the darkest places, He turns our fear into faith, our despair into praise, and our caves into sanctuaries. His favor isn't just a shield, it's a promise that He is with us, fighting for us, and working all things together for our good. And finally, Psalm 86 gives us a prayer for every season. It's a reminder that God's favor and mercy aren't limited to specific moments or situations. They're available to us every single day, in every single circumstance. Whether we're facing a crisis, making a decision, or simply needing strength to get through the day, Psalm 86 assures us that God is listening, He is near, and He is ready to pour out His grace upon us. But here's the thing. Favor and mercy aren't just something we receive passively, they're something we actively seek. David didn't wait for God to show up, he cried out to him. He prayed with honesty, humility, and confidence. And that's the invitation for us today. Whether you're in a season of failure, trouble, or simply seeking guidance, these Psalms are your blueprint. They show us how to approach God, not with fear or hesitation, but with the assurance that He is good, He is loving, and He is faithful. So, what does this mean for you right now? If you're carrying the weight of regret, let Psalm 51 remind you that God's mercy is greater than your sin. If you're in the middle of a storm, let Psalm 57 assure you that God's favor surrounds you like a shield. And if you're simply needing a fresh touch of His grace, let Psalm 86 guide you into a deeper awareness of His presence. Here's the truth. God's favor and mercy are not just for David or the heroes of the Bible. They're for you. They're for the moments when you feel unworthy, the seasons when you feel overwhelmed, and the days when you just need a reminder that you're not alone. They're for the times when you need a second chance, a breakthrough, or a fresh start. And they're for the quiet moments when you simply want to draw near to the heart of God. As you move forward from here, I encourage you to make these Psalms your own. Pray them, meditate on them, let them sink into your heart and transform your perspective. Because when you do, you'll discover something extraordinary. God's favor and mercy are not just concepts, they're realities. They're the very heartbeat of your relationship with Him. So take a deep breath, lift your eyes to the one who loves you more than you can imagine, and step into the truth that His favor and mercy are yours today, tomorrow, and every day after. Because no matter what you're facing, you are never beyond the reach of His grace. If you found this video valuable, your support through sharing, liking, commenting, and subscribing to the channel would be priceless. See you in the next one.